switch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching a video about belief. I recently was having a conversation with a friend of mine about belief and how funny it is that you can't really just decide what you're going to believe one day. And then yesterday I got a comment from, or maybe this morning, I got a comment from a friend of mine online that was basically saying the same thing. And so I thought I would address that because I have some opinions about it that are longer than you can just fit into that little comment box. And I guess I just wanted to address it in general and publicly, because that's what I do. First of all, belief is essential to creating the kick-ass life of your dreams. You have to know what it is that you want, first of all, and then you have to believe that it's possible. And belief, as I said, it's really not one of those things where you can just be like, poof, I believe because I want to believe. But you can change your beliefs. It's a process, and it's something that it's just going to be easier to do if you do it in the spirit of fun and curiosity and kind of as an investigation. I hear a lot of people say things like, I have depression and I'm always going to have depression because it runs in my family, or I have anxiety and I know this is something that I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. Those are not healthy beliefs to have, and they can be changed. I'm just talking about destructive beliefs, beliefs that hold you back from things that you want, beliefs that take a little chip out of you and diminish your experience. And if you don't want to live with anxiety and depression, for example, and I use those as examples because those are things that I personally have lived with, and I lived with them for so long, it really did seem like it was going to be a lifelong thing for me. The only difference is I just didn't accept that, and so I just tried a million different things. Anything, I read every book. I just looked for evidence about other people who have overcome these things and ways that I could do it. And then I tried. I applied all the different ways, and I found out what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And that's largely what this channel is about. I'm not a guru. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person who, to me, it's a miracle that I am a happy person today and that I don't suffer from anxiety and depression, and that I've been able to help my son with autism live a much more comfortable, happy life, and just a myriad of problems that I used to have, I've overcome. I learned so much about diet. These are all things that were a long process for me, and so I want my life to have purpose. I want that to have a meaning, and I know that, you know, there are other people like me out there. I want to present what works for me. What works for me is if I want to change my belief about something, I actively go about doing it, and I want to believe that I can live without depression. Okay, how many other people have overcome depression? How did they do it? You know, I read those books, I watched those movies, I watched those TV programs, and that builds your faith, that builds your confidence, and especially if you start applying those things to your life, each new success that you have strengthens that belief until eventually it's a part of you, and you find one day that your belief has changed. You probably won't even notice. It probably is just going to sneak up on you and become a part of you. This goes for everything. This goes for money. I'm poor. I was born into poverty. The rich get richer. The poor get poorer. Same applies. Go out and find stories of people who were born into poverty and who have succeeded financially despite that. What did they do? What principles did they apply? Really get into those success stories instead of, you know, repeating the mantra of, you know, it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to get through the eye of a needle, or, like I said, the rich get rich and the poor get poor. Don't repeat those things to yourself, you know. Pick an affirmation. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Just run it through your head anytime you feel yourself saying something either out loud or just in your own head that's negative, and then actively seek out things that are going to help reinforce the new belief that you are looking to adopt. If there's a belief that you want to change, you can change it. So I suppose if you want to break it down into like 3 easy steps, number 1 would be decide what it is that you want to believe. You don't have to believe it yet, but recognize that having that belief would be more conducive to creating the life that you have dreamed might be possible for yourself, and whatever it is that you really, really want. Decide what that belief is and decide that you are going to create that belief for yourself deep down inside. Step number 2, build a case for that belief. Collect evidence, gather evidence, immerse yourself in success stories and how-tos, and apply that. Apply those how-tos. And then I would say number 3, which I haven't mentioned yet, is act as if. Act as if it's already true, and see how that feels for you. See how it feels to hold that belief. What kind of things would you do? How would you think? How would you speak? How would you go about your life? You don't have to do it forever. Just do it for a while and see how it feels, and see if it doesn't make a difference to how you feel on the inside, and maybe how it affects your behavior. Maybe even the people and the world around you will start to change. You never know. And it's worth giving it a shot. So keep on believing, people. Much love. Peace. Don't stop believing. Do do do.